All right, Tim, thanks so much. We want to continue this conversation this morning. A special guest joining me in studio, Marisa Giarnella Porco, the co-founder of the Jordan Porco Foundation, joining me on the couch. Marisa lost her son to suicide, and you have made this your mission, to educate people and to talk with families across not only our community, but the country on this topic, and we so appreciate your coming by this morning.
Thank you so much.
A lot for folks to digest at home over the course of the last 24 hours and really the last week with some of these high-profile incidents. Where do we begin? For somebody who's watching at home and may know somebody with a personal connection to this, what do we do? How do we respond?
I think it's really important for folks to start normalizing the conversation of mental health, right? It's really important to make this part of your everyday, either your work life or your family life or conversations around the kitchen table. And if you're not comfortable about it, there's great resources out there to become familiar with mental health issues and understand that suicide is something that people, suicidal thoughts it's something that people struggle with. And if we approach people who may be struggling with depression, with post-traumatic stress disorder, it's okay to ask the question. It doesn't put thoughts in their mind, but if we do it in a non-judgmental way, it's going to increase help-seeking behavior, which is what we want to do. There's a lot of great help out there for people.
A lot of folks probably want to jump in and help when they hear situations like this. It's their natural instinct. Are there mistakes that people make?
I think that one of the things that is the most important after a death in a community, suicide by suicide, there is something that we call in the field post-vention protocol. Whether it's in a workplace or a school or a community, there's ways to approach this that helps the community. There's times for education, but that's down the road. Right now, it's about grief resources, getting people to counseling, having opportunities for people to talk about it. And it's not something that just kind of ends after a couple of days after a crisis. These are conversations that need to continue way beyond and in all different types of settings.
So if you would take me 6 months down the road, next week the morning show is going to visit a school in Cheshire that lost a student earlier this year by suicide, a 6th grader. That school is responding. What are the conversations that we need to have 6 months, a year down the road?
I think that we need to kind of put in place mental health education curriculums that are out there, suicide prevention curriculums that are available for anybody. To talk about this or to ask somebody who might be in distress, you don't have to have a PhD or an MSW or have a clinical degree. It's something that everybody can be trained to talk about. And it's something, there's curriculums like QPR, where it's the equivalent of like CPR. Anybody in the community can ask, and if you see somebody that's in distress, you can, or that your family member's struggling, and it's okay to ask a question and also find the resources that are available.
You just had an incredibly successful gala over the weekend, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars to take on this issue. Where can folks expect to see that money be put to work?
Well, we have our national college program called Fresh Check Day, and we're already in over 200 colleges and universities in 41 states. And we have a high school program called For What's Next that we're launching nationally right now to really have the conversation with transitioning juniors and seniors about what's, about psychological resiliency, about mental health, about when you reach in, and when you reach out for help. And I think that's a lesson that we all can learn, even as adults. I mean, sometimes we want to shoulder, the burden and think that we can take, but we also have to take care of ourselves in order to be able to be available to other people, and especially people in the helping profession.
It is incredibly important and powerful work that you're doing, especially given what we've seen over the course of the last couple of years in your own personal tragedy. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.